Well, hello there, video watchers and theater enthusiasts alike. My name is Nicole Swedberg, and I'm here to give you 3 reasons why you should consider the new play Zeke by Ramon Esquivel for the next season for your educational theater or theater for young audiences. So, reason number 1 is that the play is just very fun and it's brand new, and kids are really going to love it. They're going to love putting it on and they're going to love watching it. So, Esquivel is an award winning playwright who has written plays for young audiences before, and it features Zeke, who is a super confident queer character who has big dreams and big ambitions in a small town in Washington, where he grew up with his dear friend Panchita and his former enemy, JC. And the play opens with him working at the Pop, which is a burger shop that he works at with his friends and also his former enemy. It's also the setting for much of the play. And one day, Zeke is going about his business, doing what his boss Lolo tells him, when he meets a beautiful boy named Danilo. And Danilo is a musician who's there passing through town with his band, and he gives Zeke the information for his social media account. And the play takes place both in real spaces and in online spaces just as much. So now, as Zeke and Danilo are growing their relationship and it's blossoming into a romance in this online space. At the same time, Zeke is growing his social media following, and soon he gets over 300,000 followers. He becomes a star, but this creates conflict with his friends and his loved ones, and he needs to make sure that his success doesn't interfere with the relationships that actually matter to him. And then when there's an unforeseen natural disaster, then he has to decide whether or not he's going to show up for the people that he wants to, as opposed to the people who are following him online that maybe he only has a parasocial relationship with. But he also realizes that as presence in online spaces can serve as a positive as well. So the kids are going to love it because it deals with things that they're dealing with in real life in a way that's more realistic than perhaps we've seen in other stories before. Which brings me to the second reason why this is a great play to add to your season, is that it deals with these relevant issues. 95% of teens in the United States are on social media, virtually all of them. Over 46% report being on an online app almost constantly. The Facebook app is 21 years old this year. The generation that's coming up now is a generation that's never known a world without social media. And to them, social media isn't good or bad, it just is. And while the lesson of having to step out of the virtual world sometimes and check in with the real world, that is a valid lesson to learn, but the lessons need to be more nuanced than that. This is an important aspect for kids' lives, so it should also be an important aspect of their storytelling, but it should be in a way that feels relevant to them. The more that kids are online, the greater the risks are for adverse mental health outcomes. So it's important for kids to be more mindful of their use of the social internet, and particularly for kids like Zeke, because the other part of social media is that it can have a lot of positive mental health benefits as well, including giving kids access to resources or community that they might not otherwise have. For example, a kid like Zeke, who's a queer kid growing up in a small town. Because kids don't need to be talked down to, they need to be taught how to speak up. And the third reason, and I'm sure anyone who runs an educational theater or a theater for young audiences knows this, but the third reason is that the kids just need performing arts. Performing arts and young art and fine arts are some of the first programs that get stripped away from educational programs in this country, especially now. But statistics have proved over and over again, or indicated over and over again, that exposure to performing arts is improves outcomes for kids across all different metrics. Kids that are exposed to performing arts and participate in performing arts are more likely to graduate high school. They're more likely to do better in high school. They're more likely to attend college. They're more likely to graduate college. And they're more likely to have higher test scores and more positive mental health outcomes. So those are some pretty cool reasons to do a play, if I do say so myself.